Welcome back. This week we're looking at week 6, which is not my will, but yours be done. We all know what it's like to pray things that we hope, God is going to answer it the way we want. But sometimes His will and our will just don't line up. And so Jesus is our model who learned how to surrender His will to the Father when He was praying at the Garden of Gethsemane. When He asked 3 times, Lord, if it be your will, let this cup pass from me. He didn't want to have to go to the cross and suffer and die and shed His blood, but He did. Because in the end, after praying that 3 times, He surrendered by saying, Lord, not my will, but yours be done. Today, I've invited my daughter and her husband to join us with this conversation, and so we're going to talk a little bit with them right now. How are you?
Hi.
Well, thank you for joining me this week, because I think you guys know a little bit about surrendering your will to the will of God. How about you talk to me about that today?
Yes, I know at a point in my life, even with my daughter, just a newborn baby, she's getting little sleep at night. I would have to wake up at night, and sometimes I would realize, I would do something a little special and fun with her to help her get back to sleep. Well, that, when I laid my life down, to lose sleep, I thought that it was just a sacrifice. Really, I was building something bigger than myself that would only grow in my relationship with my daughter. So there's a lot of important, parts that you'll discuss in the book about laying your life down.
Yes.
and the fruit that comes from it.
Awesome. How about you, Iman?
Well, I just wanted to actually talk about the time after my graduation. So I graduated from ORU, pushed my way through to the finish to graduate on time after being very sick. And I had the expectation that I would be getting a job very soon after graduation. I had many interviews. I got suits in faith for my business job. And it turns out that I ended up working as a hostess at a restaurant. I worked in retail with high schoolers, and I found out that my will was not being done. My plans were not succeeding, but I know the word says many are the plans of a man's heart, but the Lord's purpose prevails. And so I really wanted to encourage those of you who are viewing who may be younger or maybe in transition with a job and have an expectation of, I have these plans. I thought, I was going to get this job on the first interview. I thought, that this would work out, and maybe it didn't. And for at least 4 or 5 years, I was working in jobs that I did not plan for, that I didn't expect to have. But I learned so much through those seasons, and I learned how to love people who were difficult to love. I learned how to be patient, and I learned so many things through God's will being done and not mine. And so the Lord has perfect timing for you and for even in your career.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much, you guys, for being willing to share a little bit about not your will, but His be done. Thank you for joining me for Chapter 6. I'm really excited about Chapter 7 because you're going to meet another portion of my family, which is my son and my beautiful daughter, as you join me for next week when we talk about how I became a prayer. Join me.